The dream begins at a young age, and the memories last a lifetime. Along the way, lessons are learned: sacrifice, discipline, teamwork. For some, career aspirations are forged in victory and defeat, with pride and humility. And at the elite level, it all comes full circle when those who dare to dream rise to be called champions. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club honors excellence at all levels of the great game of football. From the Tropicana in Atlantic City, the Maxwell Football Club presents their 81st Awards Gala.
And hello, everyone, officially. I'm Maxwell. I want to introduce our first-time co-host for tonight's Maxwell Award. For the first time joining us from 6 ABC, Jeff Skaversky, who will be joining me tonight to handle some of the duties, to do some of the interviews, and bring that special enthusiasm that only Jeff can bring. Jeff, welcome.
What a night.
Did you have a fun time following this team on the road with them all through the Eagles season?
It was just remarkable. Growing up in Philadelphia, growing up an Eagles fan, dreaming about seeing something like I saw just about a month ago, and seeing that parade covering it for 6 ABC was just flat out remarkable. So thank you guys. You brought it home finally.
The Maxwell Football Club Awards Gala is an annual tradition when football's oldest fraternity honors excellence at all levels of the game. It celebrates the present, its future, and its all-time greats. It recognizes innovation and contributions to our communities. The Steinberg-Denicola Humanitarian Award honored 2 local heroes who made a difference in Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Eagles were big winners, both on and off the field. From the front office to the field, several have given so much of themselves. Here are 2 men who Lee and myself would like to single out tonight.
Eagles defensive end Chris Long climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in 2014 and soon thereafter founded Waterboys, uniting NFL players and fans in a mission to provide clean water to communities in East Africa. Long's effort has helped to build 32 wells. In 2015, his foundation tackled more projects to bring awareness to military appreciation, homelessness, and youth. This year, he partnered with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Virginia to donate his first 6 game checks to fund scholarships for local students. He donated his final 10 game checks to organizations providing educational opportunity in Philadelphia, Boston, and St. Louis. On his most recent 6-day climb for awareness, he just had to represent. Howie Roseman, the Eagles' Vice President of Football Operations, has also taken on projects benefiting children with autism, vision care, and the military. In 2012, he partnered with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Philadelphia to launch the Howie Roseman Challenge for Kids, securing donations for every touchdown. He's also worked with Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, USA Football, Pop Warner, and Cop Wheels. Lee Steinberg and Cosmo Denicola present their Humanitarian Award to Chris Long and Howie Roseman.
Hi, Chris Long here, defensive end for your Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. I am extremely grateful to Cosmo and Lee, as well as the Maxwell Football Club, for honoring me with the Steinberg-Denicola Humanitarian Award here at the 81st Annual Gala. Everything we did this year as a community, as a team, is unforgettable to me. You know, my first year in Philadelphia, you certainly didn't have to get behind my causes, but fans, businesses, the community, you guys did, and you helped me and my foundation change a number of lives, not only in Philadelphia, but around the country and around the world. It just shows what a generous and loving city that Philadelphia is, and how great it is to be an athlete in this city. I'll tell people that as long as I live. So fly Eagles fly, and go Eagles. Have a great night.
And Howie would top that. Please welcome the architect of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman.
I want to thank the Maxwell Football Club, Cosmo, Lee, for this award. it's humbling being up here when you think about the people who've won this award. I mean, Chris Long, congratulations to him, Andy Reid, Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald, Connor Barwin. To be up here with names like that, really, it's a true honor. I'll tell you what, when I came here tonight, they told me I was going first, so I've had this drink in my hand all night, waiting to drink it to finish my speech. Why don't we raise a glass right now to the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to keep our foot on the gas, and we're going to come back here next year and celebrate again. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
The evening provided plenty of opportunity, of course, to talk Eagles football. ESPN's Sal Paolantonio joins me on stage to share some of his thoughts.
The Eagles trying to make some moves to get under the cap. First move, Michael Bennett. Do you like the move, and how does it play in this Eagles locker room?
Well, first of all, Jeff, I love the aggressiveness. I think everybody now follows this football team, likes the idea that this team is always looking to get better. That's been the hallmark of what Howie Roseman has done since he's taken over the football team. That's Doug Peterson's approach. They want to be aggressive. I think Michael Bennett is a very aggressive move. It's definitely outside the box in terms of his personality, but certainly he fits in for what they do. He's a tough player. He's still got a lot left at 32 years old. He brings a certain attitude to the field. And as they proved during the Super Bowl, you got to get after the quarterback, and you got to have a fourth quarter pass rush. That's the key to winning at that level in the National Football League.
And they did just that, getting to Tom Brady in the biggest game of their lives. The one thing I have to ask you about is, and this is the hot topic, of course, in Philadelphia, in Atlantic City.
Doug, hold your ears, Doug.
Everywhere. What do you do with Nick Foles?
Oh, I would never trade Nick Foles. No way. No way. Don't trade him. You know, and everybody asks me that question wherever I
get it
go.
all the time as well.
Yeah, you know, well, why can't we get something in value back from Nick Foles? And my answer always is this: what else do you want? The guy brought you a Super Bowl trophy. You got enough for him. You know, and I think the world of Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is the absolute future of this football team. He is the face of the franchise. I love what Doug Peterson said recently on Sirius XM radio. Nick Foles understands this is Carson Wentz's football team. But while Carson Wentz is getting better, it is Nick Foles' football team.
And you know what? Why take the risk? At the end of the day, you're in a window now where you could perhaps...
There is no risk, really.
Why take the risk, I'm saying, of getting rid of Nick? Keep Nick as your backup plan if you need it, because it's a heck of a backup plan, isn't it?
Couldn't say it any better.
All right, for Sal Paolantonio, I'm Jeff Skaversky.
One of the highlights of the evening was the presentation of the Maxwell Award for the College Player of the Year. Former Eagles quarterback Don McPherson presented the honor.
Thank you, Lou. As Lou said, it was 30 years ago that I won the Maxwell Award. And just a few months later, was fortunate to be drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, as Lou stated. And if you remember that I played for the Eagles, that means two things. Number one, you're old. And number two, you have an extraordinary memory, because I didn't play very much. And I was fortunate, and I say fortunate, to be drafted by the Eagles, because as a former Maxwell Award winner, I was able to come back to Philadelphia to smiles. Unlike most former winners who come back to a less generous, cordial welcoming from the local people. And the other thing that was fortunate about coming back here was I had a chance to watch the people of the Maxwell Foundation, the people who tirelessly worked day in and day out to identify young student athletes who were promising from the tri-state, but also who were true stewards of the game, who really cared about the game. And so here we are 30 years later for me, and so many years later for the Maxwell Award and the Maxwell Foundation, still being stewards as the game. So when we come back, Paul Palmer and Hugh Green and those of us who are fortunate to come back, we don't come back as former winners. We come back as stewards of our game. The Maxwell Award winner this year is the college player who truly did it all. This year's winner is just that. He's a winner. He led Oklahoma to the best record in the Big 12, the conference championship, and from there, a berth in the college football playoffs. When it was all over, his record was 12-2 and a ranking of number 3 in the final polls. His accuracy was unmatched. And boy, ladies and gentlemen, this young man is a football player. He is a baller. His accuracy was unmatched, and he was the best completion percentage in the nation. It was quite a season for Baker Mayfield.
Confident and competitive. That's how you can describe Baker Mayfield. Mayfield led the Sooners to the college football playoffs, and he took home 4 national honors along the way. A 12-2 record with a completion percentage of 70%, he threw for over 4,600 yards, 43 touchdowns with just 6 interceptions. He played with an edge, a swagger, and he could catch too.
It's a reverse. Lamb throws it to the quarterback, and Mayfield catches a touchdown pass.
The Maxwell Football Club is proud to present the Maxwell Award for the College Player of the Year to Oklahoma's Baker Mayfield.
What an honor to be here. I still think you guys took that play from us in the bowl game. No, it's an honor to be here in front of legendary coaches, great players. You know, when you fly in from coast to coast and the first thing that happens is somebody takes you to Wawa and has a cup of coffee, you Philadelphia people know what I'm talking about. Got exposed quickly, so you guys do a great job. No, it's a blessing. My journey has been one that it's definitely not how I drew it up. Having to walk on twice and having the outcomes, meeting the people that I did along the way, having the support, it's been unbelievable for me. And a whole experience that I'll never forget, and I'm truly thankful for. But the most special part about it has been the people you meet. It's not about the game. The game will move on, people will change, but it's the people you meet along the way. There's people here that have truly shaped the game, have impacted people, have had great stories, inspiring stories. It's a blessing to be up here in front of you guys and to be honored tonight. Coach Vermeil, good to see you again. Good to talk in front of Coach Peterson as well. Obviously, good to be in front of a Super Bowl champion crowd, and then just having a good time. I appreciate everything Tropicana for putting on this event. Maxwell Football Club, you guys truly do it the best, and so thank you very much.
Nick, come on over. I can't let you go. Have a seat. So, just like you thought, right? Incredibly well-mannered, polite young man. And you are. And how sick are you hearing this, right? And I'm going to hit you with it again. Mike Mayock's a good friend of mine, and he was our co-host here last year, and of course you talked to him a lot at the Combine. And what Mike said was, you interviewed better than anybody he ever heard, and it completely changed his opinion on you. What does he mean by that?
There's a perception in the media, you know, that the competitive nature gets confused every once in a while. Obviously, there's some things I can and can't do to fine-tune and polish up, but the competitive edge is something that I will definitely carry with me for the rest of my life.
You know, I kind of like the plant thing, but you didn't realize it wasn't earth underneath, right?
I had some very smart teammates encouraging me to do it.
Yeah, you put it in artificial turf and it went boink. The other thing I did like about your interviews in Combine, and they tried to trap you every which way. And the question that's hard for somebody to answer when they asked you if you'd possibly be drafted by Cleveland, you know, some quarterbacks in the past have said, I'm not going there, I'm not going to Baltimore. I'm not. What did you say about going to Cleveland?
I said I'd love it. I'd love to get a chance to play there. It's an opportunity to play the game of football. The fact that, you know, when you look at it, Minka's got the video of him going on a mission trip to Costa Rica. Talk about how blessed I am. For people to complain about having the game of football as a job, I'd play anywhere. So it doesn't matter to me.
I got you. Since we're in a Philly crowd, you watch Nick Foles and Carson Wentz play a little quarterback this year. What do you think about those two guys?
Very talented. Actually, grew up crosstown rivals where Nick Foles went to high school. Last time we lost them was when he was there, his senior year. So watched him play in high school, so I've been a big fan ever since. But talented guy, so.
So you weren't surprised?
No, wasn't surprised.
And finally, to the Philly special that he just referred, take a look at your screens right now, and I think this is the play. I think we dug this up that you were talking about, and let's take a look at it. You ran this at Oklahoma? Yeah?
Rose Bowl.
Oh, at the Rose Bowl, right?
Just a little variation.
Yeah, it looks similar, and there you go, catching the ball for the touchdown. We like it here in Philly. Way to go, Baker Mayfield. You're a winner. Thanks for coming, and welcome to the fraternity of the Maxwell Football Club.
The Uplifting Athlete Award was presented to Shaquem Griffin from Central Florida. Joining him on stage was his brother, Shaquille, of the Seattle Seahawks.
So, tell me, at the Combine, just ridiculous. Fastest 40 time by a linebacker since 2003, 20 reps of 225 pounds. And oh, by the way, do you know his story? Your hand was amputated at 4 years old. Just tell me what it was like growing up. I'm sure you heard that you may never be able to play sports, but what you were able to do is just remarkable. What was that like to get to this point?
I mean, for me, it's just being able to withstand negativity and turn it into a positivity. I mean, for each and every single person, you're going to wake up each and every day, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, and the only person that can stop you from doing something is yourself. And, I made sure I live by that every single day.
And the next stage, you will be on the NFL draft stage. As a rookie corner with the Seahawks, how proud are you of your brother?
Oh man, it's unexplainable. I tell him every day how proud I am of him, and it's only beginning, and I can't wait to see what's next for him. And I got his back 100%. I know my family here that's sitting, got his back too, and everybody that's here. I appreciate you guys so much.
So as you get ready for the NFL draft, I saw you talking to some of the Eagles personnel over there. Seeing what the Eagles did, would that be special to play for Philadelphia if you'd given that opportunity?
I mean, it's crazy because, Philly know how to win, UCF know how to win, and we both champions.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, winner of the Chuck Bednarik Award for College Defensive Player of the Year, sat down for a conversation with Lou Tilley.
But you are, they say, the epitome of the new DB. You can't even put a name on it in the NFL. Folks, we're not just playing with 2 corners and 2 safeties anymore. A lot of times we might have 5 DBs, that's the nickel package, or even 6, that's the dime package. And apparently you played all of those at Alabama, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's that like, and did you train for that, or did you just evolve into that?
Coach Saban just called me up one day into the office and said, "Hey, Mink, we need you to play this position." And I said, "Yes, sir, I'll do it." And then the next week it was something new, and then the next week it was something new, and then just week to week he was just challenging me with something different, and that was it for real. And Coach Saban is a real laid-back, easy guy to argue with if you didn't like what he said, right?
I don't know about that one.
Off the field, I read that your career almost came to a halt as a result of a natural disaster.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
Back in, I think it was 2011, me and my family lost our home to a hurricane. And we were going through a lot. My parents were both working 2-3 jobs. My older sister was working, and I was going to a private school playing football, and I wasn't really providing the way I should have. And I kind of felt it was heavy on my heart, and I just thought I should provide a little bit more. And I told them, I'm going to quit football. I'm going to just go to the regular town high school, and I'm going to work and just help provide for the family. And then once we're good and we're stable, I'm going to go back to football and play.
And then there was another important thing. Because of the kind of man, I guess, that shaped you into, you went on an important mission to Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we went on a mission trip with FCA, Alabama. Down
Fellowship of Christian Athletes?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Fabulous.
Down to Costa Rica. It was a real life-changing experience.
How did it change your life? How did it affect you?
It was just one that just showed me how to love when you don't have anything. That losing my house kind of taught me that a little bit, but when I was down there, these people had nothing.
Right.
They had sewage running through their homes, and,
right.
and they had no TV, no air conditioning, no nothing, and they lived in 100-degree conditions. And just watching the way that they cared about each other and the joy that they had and the comfort that they had was really awesome.
See why he's a champion, folks.
Last season, Fitzpatrick and Alabama captured its 2nd title in the college football playoff. But should the playoff format be changed? That was a hot topic for our panel of experts.
As we're ready to get started with March Madness, I can only think how great would college football be if we had a few more teams playing for a national championship, and almost you set it up like an NCAA tournament where you expand a little bit. Would you guys be in favor with that? Let's start down on the end with Phil.
Well, you know, I'm a little prejudiced because 14 years ago in the magazine, Phil Steele's College Football Preview, I came up with my perfect college football playoff plan, which was 1 against 4, 2 against 3, 4-team playoff. You get the best teams in the playoffs. You don't have the attrition of the FCS playoffs, and the regular season still means something. Plus, you keep the bowls. I think it's been great. We've had 3 tremendous bowl games so far. So I'm all for the current playoff system, but I'm a little prejudiced.
I'm right with Phil. I think that we've had it for 3 years now. I think we've had 3 tremendous championship games. You know, I think that every game has to be important. And I think when you have just 4 teams, every game is important from September all the way through the bowl games and into the conference championship games and the Big 5 power. I think they should just keep it just the way it is right now. I think it's working well.
But why not expand it in the sense that if you
I think it dilutes it, Jeff.
But you can have buys. Let's say the top 4 teams have buys, and the winner of the All-State Bowl plays the winner of the Orange Bowl, and that winner plays so on and so forth, where you set it up so you still have your bowls, you get more teams involved, and suddenly you have Temple and Syracuse playing, and the winner of that's going to play Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even Florida State. And you're in a situation where you go, okay, that's fine. All of a sudden you have fan bases caring about one team as opposed to maybe not caring at all.
And I don't think you lose anything in terms of the regular season. I really don't. I don't think there's any drop-off in regular season importance. I'm going to go Dick Van Patten, and I'm going to say 8 is enough. I'm going to say 8 teams, give me 5 Power 5 champions, 2 at-large teams. And with Shaquem Griffin here, what do you say to Shaquem? His team never had an opportunity. If a group of 5 team is ranked high enough, I say give them an opportunity. They showed in the Peach Bowl that they could beat Auburn, so why not give them an opportunity?
Bobby?
I think Coach Bob
How
might disagree.
do you feel about this? You've won 2 national championships. How would you feel about if this were expanded to add more teams into the fire?
It never ends. If you got 4, now they want 16 or 8, you know.
Then 32, 64.
Then they're going to want 16. Then they're going to want 32. No, 4 is enough, in my opinion. I wasn't for it when it started, you know what? I always felt like voting worked out perfect. They always picked 1 versus 2. They never miss that. It's 3 and 4 and 5 where they start missing, you know. But I think the good thing about 4, it gives more teams a chance to win a national championship. But if you start going on more than that, my question is, when are they going to go to school?
The evolution of football. The game is constantly changing. So what lies ahead?
Gala fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Okay, right out of the box. I understand that already the commissioner has got the guys together and we have some changes coming. I'm looking at you, Carl. What is a catch when we tee it up for the first time next year?
Don't ask me, ask those officials, because there's so many interpretations, and with the instant replay, I'll pass this on to the guy next to me because he's at the league office every day.
Troy.
What is that? No,
what's a catch?
So actually, there will be changes in the catch and what's no catch. We've been looking at a lot of video. This all started back with the Wayne Corbett catch. Then it goes to the Bert Emanuel, to the Calvin Johnson. Des Bryant never was a catch. And then to the Des Bryant. So there's 3 areas, just real quickly, there's 3 areas that we're actually taking a look at that we'll vote on at the owners' meetings here in 2 weeks. It's the replay standard in New York. With technology now, the language in replay, going to the ground is the other phase, and then the last phase is the slight movement. Slight movement of the ball. So we're looking at all 3 phases. Replay in New York, going to the ground, and slight movement
And driving
of the ball.
all of us nuts who thought we knew the game of football. Sal, what's coming? Are they going to make changes? Are they going to clear it up for us?
Well, he just made the news, so I'm about to quote Troy Vincent of the National Football League.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but no, I think the bottom line is this. Do we want it to be a catch? That's the thing. Not do we not want it to be a catch. We want more catches in the National Football League. We want it to be able to say to people, this is a catch, and say it emphatically, because the game is exciting when people catch the football, not when they don't catch the football.
Baker, you're the young guy here, and when we talk about the future of football, you got
I like catches. Whoa. Rookies don't have any say-so in this discussion.
Wait.
Zero.
What were you about to say, Baker?
I like catches.
Say something. You like catches, right? Yeah.
Tell me, what's your thoughts? I mean, you guys would sit around the dorm all the time. You still live in dorms, by the way, at OU? Yeah.
Housing.
And you say, what is going on here? Are you confused when you're even on the field?
A little bit, but you know what? I'm not going to say too much right now.
Finally, last topic for everyone. What are we doing? Are we trying to expand the game to Europe? We play in London every year. We're forcing the Eagles, we're sending the Eagles overseas to play there next year. What is the point of this? Is it to sell more jerseys in Europe, or are we going to put a franchise there? Troy?
It's to grow the game. We see other sports that have had success, and it's a great experience for those players that have been there. It's eyeballs. We want to see international, frankly, talent play on the field. When we consider ourselves the world's greatest sport, we need international participants.
Yeah.
So we need to go there, play, they come and experience our venue, and then maybe there's an opportunity for some players to come.
Well, on a serious note, apparently there is some erosion of youth football right now. And I know that you can speak directly to that, Carl. How do we keep the kids playing the game?
Well, as the former chairman for 8 years of USA Football, there was a dip, I would tell you, but actually it's on the upswing now. It's because the players, the youth football coaches and high school football coaches in USA Football is 7 years through 19 years old, are learning how to re-tackle and re-block without the head in the contact, and that's the key. Concussions is a big concern. Any parent says, should I let my son or daughter play football? That's the one thing you have to overcome. But it's on the upswing. More and more kids are playing. There's 5 million kids in this country, boys and girls, playing flag and tackle football. We're excited about that. It's our game. It's America's game. I think we know that. It's still the most popular game in this country and will be, I think, for a long time to come.
Carl Peterson, Baker, Troy, Sal, good to have you back. Good to have you all back. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our panel. And now we get to the Burt Bell winner as the Pro Football Player of the Year. As we continue the celebration, it starts to hit some pace now. Please welcome back to the podium two presidents. President of the Maxwell Football Club, Mark Diano. The president of the Trop, Tony Rodeo. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Thank you. And Tony, the Burt Bell Award is presented to the Professional Player of the Year. And, you know, there are a number of outstanding quarterbacks who have won that award, but did you know that tonight marks the 5th time that a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles will have his name etched on the trophy? Norm Van Brocklin and Jaws received this honor. Randall Cunningham took home this award 3 times, and Michael Vick won it as well. Burt Bell, who founded the Maxwell Football Club, was a former owner and commissioner and always wanted to be a football man. And I think you'd agree that tonight's winner is carving his place in Eagles history.
You know, Mark, as I think back as my time as an Eagles fan, it was always the other guy. It was always the other team that had that special quarterback. In the 70s, it was the Cowboys with Staubach. In the 80s, it was the 49ers with Montana. In the 90s, it was the Cowboys again with Aikman. And in the 2000s, Tom Brady with New England. You know what? Now it's our turn. It's our turn, and we have that special guy, and that's what Carson Wentz is. And I am so excited to think about what this guy's going to do over the next 10 years. It has only taken Carson Wentz 2 seasons to establish himself as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. It's great to think it's only the beginning.
Carson Wentz was very much a part of the Eagles' victory parade, despite the knee injury that cut a record-breaking season short at 13 games. In just his 2nd year out of North Dakota State, where he guided the Bisons to a national title, Wentz had thrown 33 touchdown passes in the NFL against just 7 interceptions. Only the 3rd player in NFL history to achieve those ratios.
Carson Wentz becomes just the 6th Eagle to win the Maxwell Club's Pro Football MVP award, which is named after legendary Eagle owner and NFL Commissioner Burt Bell. And Wentz joins former Eagle quarterbacks Norm Van Brocklin, Ron Jaworski, Randall Cunningham, and Michael Vick as the Burt Bell winner. The Maxwell Football Club's Pro Player of the Year, Carson Wentz.
What's up, everybody? Carson Wentz here. Just want to first of all apologize for not being in attendance tonight. I know it's an amazing event put on by some amazing people, so sorry I can't be there tonight and receive the award, but man, I'm so humbled, so honored, so thankful to receive the Burt Bell Award. It means a ton to me. I know it means a lot to this team and the city of Philadelphia as well. I got to thank the good Lord first and foremost. You know, He's been my everything in my life, and He's just continually blessed me and blessed this team this year, and He's so good in the good and the bad, and I'm just very thankful for Him, and all the glory and praise goes to Him and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I got to thank my family and friends for always just believing in me, always pushing me to be the best, always supporting me in the highs and the lows and the good and the bad. I got to thank my coaches, my current coaches, my past coaches, always just, again, doing the same, pushing me to be the best, challenging me every day. I got to give a special shout out to Coach Peterson, very deserving of the Coach of the Year award. I know the league kind of robbed you of that, but the Maxwell Football Club, you guys got this one right, because Coach Peterson is an amazing coach, amazing man of God, amazing family man, amazing friend, and I couldn't ask for a better head coach to come into this league and play under, and I look forward to hopefully playing my whole career with him. And lastly, I got to thank my teammates. My teammates have been unbelievable. It's such a special group of men in that locker room this last year. The journey that we went on all the way back from OTAs, really since I got there and Coach Peterson got there the year prior, to how quickly we turned it around and got it going and righted the ship and ultimately ended up winning the Super Bowl. Just an amazing testament to the guys in that locker room, and I owe this award to them. This is a team game. It's not a one-man show by any means, and the award goes to these guys, and it's a real team award. So I'm very, again, honored and humbled to receive it. I want to just give another thank you for the Maxwell Football Club, again, for putting an amazing event on. And man, what a season we had! What a season we had as Super Bowl champs. In my second year again, to come away as a Super Bowl champ. Hopefully, it's just the first of many. I think we're starting something special here. And hopefully we can get used to this feeling. So again, I'm very thankful, very humbled, very honored. Again, I apologize I couldn't be there tonight, but thank you to everyone for the support, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. God bless you guys.
Carson Wentz, everyone, and accepting on his behalf, please welcome back the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie Roseman. Good job in finding him, Howie. Congratulations all. The Coach of the Year award is named after a former Eagles coach who won several NFL championships a long time ago. His name is Earl Greasy Neal. Another one in 1960, and of course the greatest hope that we had until this past year is a coach who's about to come back out here tonight. He took the Eagles to the Super Bowl, and then he won one outright with another team. But he's Philadelphian through and through, still makes his home in Westchester when he's not riding his tractor in the Napa Valley, drinking some of the finest wine that we've ever seen in the United States. He's recovering from hip surgery. Trooper that he is, please welcome back to our stage, Dick Vermeil.
What a great honor it is for me to present the annual Maxwell Football Club Coach of the Year Award. An award that has been presented 29 times in the past to 16 Super Bowl coaches representing 27 Super Bowl games. This year's winner, with all due respect to our past winners, our own Doug Peterson, has set new standards for excellence for what it'll take to win this award in years to come. Why do I say this? Doug is the very first among these coaches, past winners, including the Super Bowl coaches, to coach his team into a nation's most important game within his first 2 years as a head football coach. It is very, very difficult to do what Doug and his staff has done. Doug, congratulations. And I'll say this as sincerely as I possibly can. If Dick Vermeil in 1980 would have done as good a job in Super Bowl 15 that Doug Peterson did this last year in Super Bowl 52, we'd have 2 Lombardi trophies in Philadelphia. During the Eagles Super Bowl run, Coach Peterson reminds his team that an individual can make a difference, but a team can make a miracle. No words were ever more true.
A driven Doug Peterson, a man who went for it on 4th down with the trick play.
No one wore that underdog mask better than the leader of the Eagles pack, Doug Peterson. He was an unlikely selection, some said, by Jeff Lurie just 2 seasons ago, and he was welcomed for the first time as the coach of the Eagles on this very stage at the Maxwells. Peterson's personal knowledge as an NFL player, his growth and experience as an assistant coach, and his personal qualities of leadership of men came together in a perfect storm gone right for the Eagles in a super season. He set an aggressive tone from the very start that spread to his players' hearts and paid dividends when it counted most on sports' biggest stage, where the Eagles finally found glory and paraded as stars for all of Philadelphia to see, winners of the Super Bowl. The Maxwell Football Club would like to set the record straight as we honor the NFL Coach of the Year with the Greasy Kneel Award, Doug Peterson.
I'm going to tell you something. This is the one thing when you win a world championship, and I've had the pleasure of doing it as a player with the Green Bay Packers and now as a head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. That team right there that you saw in that highlight video and what you've been experiencing the entire season, that's what it's all about. It's about family. The 3 most important things are my faith, my family, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles. I got to thank the Maxwell Football Club, obviously, for this award, Coach Vermeil for presenting me. And, you know, I look back on this journey. Started 2 years ago. And, you know, there were a lot of things said about me, you know, being the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's fine. That's okay. I have thick skin. I can handle it. But you know what? One thing I did believe in, I believed in myself. And that's the same sort of feeling and the same message that I talk to our players about every single day, about belief. Believe in one another. Trust the administration. Trust scouting. Trust your owner. Trust the man that you work with. And you don't make plays like that, and you don't win world championships unless you trust the guy next to you. There's a lot of men in this room that got awards tonight. We're going to see a lot of these guys at our level here in the next couple of months. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. You know, and we're going through this process right now. We got free agency, the draft, we got OTAs, everything is coming up. And I'm going to continue to speak the language that we've built a culture in Philadelphia the last 2 years. And our culture is about family. Our culture is about ownership. It's about doing what's right, understanding your job, trusting your players. You saw that video right there when Nick came over to the sideline. You know, he said Philly, Philly, but the play was actually Philly special. That was the exact play. He went Philly, Philly, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. Biggest stage on earth, playing Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and I'm not giving them the ball back. But you have to trust your players. You have to trust your players to make plays like that. And that's what it's all about. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you again for this award. I appreciate it. Go Eagles. And hopefully we'll see you in Atlanta in 2019. Thank you.
Gentlemen, this is one of the most incredible runs we have ever seen in Philadelphia sports, what you and your Philadelphia Eagles were able to accomplish. When you talked about it there for a second, when Nick Foles does walk over to you and calls that play, you kind of pause for a second and you said, let's do it. What is going through your mind in those next few seconds? Is your heart racing? Are you second guessing yourself for a second? Or are you going, I'm all on board, let's go?
You want to know what's going through my head?
Yes.
I'm either going to be the biggest genius in Super Bowl history, or I'm going to be the biggest GOAT. No, honestly, you know, it was a play that we had put in a couple weeks prior. We had actually seen a team run it a couple years earlier, and we put it in against the Minnesota Vikings. We didn't use it in the conference championship game. Kept it in for the Super Bowl. We'd repped it a couple of times, and on my call sheet, I actually had it marked at about the 3-yard line. Is where I really wanted to call that play, and I didn't envision really on a 4th down to call that play.
Neither did the Patriots.
And I don't think anybody else did.
Or anyone else in this room. Coach Vermeil, to see what Doug did and to have the guts, not only to call that, but the way he attacked the Patriots and really attacked this entire season, and even last season when he took the job, how impressed are you at the job that Doug has done in a very short amount of time?
Well, I think I just said it up there.
Yeah.
If I'd have done as good a job, we'd have won the 15, okay? You know, it's amazing how far the game has come. I had Sid Gilman with me. He was in the Hall of Fame. We thought we knew everything there is to know about offensive football. But when you watch the game today that Doug presents offensively with his staff, it's different night and day. They do it so much better and many more things, more difficult things to do, and execute it real well. That's why we're saluting the right guy tonight. No one did it any better.
Real quick, Trey and Carl and Dick, as ex-Eagles who have all been there and didn't quite get there, were you fans that night? And what was going through your head when Brady gets the ball with the chance to win it? Trey?
Of course. I mean, you know, I was extremely excited, and just the energy levels was just high, you know, especially seeing where you're going up against New England, and you know, you have this redemption for us not having a chance to, you know, to not pull it off. But when you see Tom Brady there with 9 seconds left, I'm like, oh my God, somebody please make a play. Let's knock the ball down. But you know, this team never batted an eye. These guys were always, they accepted every challenge that was presented to them, and I'd expected for them to come out of this with a win.
Well, as a small part of the very first Super Bowl Eagles team with Dick Vermeil, I must tell you and congratulate and thank Jeff Lurie and Roseman, and also obviously Doug, for completing the job, because it had to be done. And I think all of us Eagles that had been in the first 2 Eagle Super Bowl teams were cheering our hearts out to make it happen. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Philadelphia Eagle fans. There are no people like you. I can tell you that.
Doug, we have been celebrating as a city, as a fan base, since you guys won the Super Bowl, and you guys have as well. How difficult is it for you and your staff to turn that page? And it's a very short offseason, and you guys have a lot of decisions to make. But how tough is that too? Because you do want to celebrate this, but to turn that page and get fired up for next season and try to get back there.
You know, this just adds to the motivation. This adds the kind of the fuel. Once you have this taste, I'll never forget the time we won it in Green Bay as a player, and you wanted to go back the next year, and we had a chance to go back and play in the next Super Bowl the next year, and we didn't win it. And I'll never forget that moment. You know, you just, once you're there, and now that you've won it, you want to keep going back, and it's just that taste that you have. And I'm going to tell you something, our fans are the greatest in the NFL. I mean, it's at the link, you know, every Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, to play in front of those fans, then to see them again, you know, at the parade, and to be out in the community, and it's generational. It's little kids, and it's their parents, and it's their parents, and And those are the stories, and those are the memories that I'll always take away from this game, just meeting those people and understanding what it means, not only to the city, but to the community and to the individuals that have experienced this championship.
How many times tonight has someone asked you, what are you guys going to do with Nick Foles? What are you guys going to do with Carson Wentz? What are you going to do with this guy? What are you going to do with this guy?
That's a Howie question.
What?
Notice he didn't come over here.
No, but I get it all the time, right? So I imagine you go into Whole Foods, you go into Wawa, you go into Wegmans, or do you just stay away from those places?
I stay away from those places. My wife goes in there. But no, honestly,
Let's bring her up here.
Yeah, she can answer it. But you know, listen, Nick Foles, Super Bowl MVP. I was part of the coaching staff that drafted him. You know, here in Philadelphia, I think I was the only coach at the time to go work him out down in Austin, Texas at his high school and spend some time with him. And that was part of the reason for him coming back to Philadelphia, was just that relationship and that bond that he and I have. And those are the things that you're going to cherish and remember about a season that we just went through. And you think about the guys that are injured, and you think about the ones that couldn't walk off that field, you know, under you know, circumstances of playing in that game. That's what it's all about. And those guys are so hungry and eager to come back and get ready in a couple weeks and try to make another run.
Let's do it again.
Let's do
Philadelphia Eagle royalty right here. Doug Peterson.
Thank you.
Carl Peterson. Trey Thomas. Dick Vermeil. Stand up, gentlemen. Take one last bow. And with that, we'll say goodnight, everyone. Jeff, it's been fun.
It's been a great time among football royalty here in Atlantic City at the 81st Annual Maxwell Awards.
We'll be able to catch it on Jeff's station next Sunday, the 18th at 1 o'clock. But for now, we say goodbye. I'm Lou Tilley.
I'm Jeff Skaversky. Good night. We'll see you on TV.